Hello, hello, Josie here. Good morning. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So, I am rested and fresh faced, breaking into the dawn, and looking forward to enjoying this lovely day that God has made. Now, for many years, I enjoyed partaking in marijuana, weed, pot, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to share with you my start, and I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but whatever I'm saying and sharing is necessary. So, in college, the first semester, I decided to not engage in any reckless behavior. When I say reckless behavior, the parties, the alcohol, the sex, the drugs, marijuana. I mean, there were people that were around me that were engaging in it, but I was not. So in a lot of ways, I was seen by a lot of individuals as being a goody two shoes. Why aren't you going to the parties? Why aren't you going to the raves? Why aren't you going to this or doing that? We're inviting you out to go smoke with us. Why don't you come out and smoke with us? I said, no, thank you. No, thank you. And then, for some reason, I don't know if something specifically happened. I think it was just me saying, okay, there's nothing wrong with trying it. Just try it and see if you like it. No, I did. I was offered time and time again by this group of individuals to go and smoke, and I said, no, no, thank you. And then they asked me one evening, and I said, yeah, sure. So we got in the car, we drove around the backwoods of Nacogdoches, Texas, and enjoyed a little bit of Mary Jane. That was an interesting feeling, very interesting feeling. I'm not saying that I was hooked or addicted, but it was pleasant. I didn't see any problem with it. Now, I did smoke cigarettes at that time quite a bit. And there was this one individual, this one guy that lived down the hall in the dorm from me. And he brought over Adderall. So I tried Adderall for the first time, and he was basically, in a way, like a pusher. He was a drug dealer, but on the low. And he mostly dabbled in pills, stuff of that nature. And Adderall, it gave me, of course, a jolt of energy and alertness I had never experienced before. So I was very attentive that day, very alert, asking questions, very in tune and engaged. And I went back to my room and I crashed for the next 2 days after doing that. So I never messed with Adderall again. Fast forward. I get back to Houston, and eventually I meet Mike, who would be my spouse for the next 2 decades. And Mike enjoyed marijuana, and he had a few different sources, or a couple of different sources, and it was good, it was decent. And then over the course of those 2 decades, I would engage in smoking marijuana on a daily basis almost. If not daily, then a few times a week. Towards the end of Mike's life, I was almost entirely using marijuana as an anti-anxiety medication over prescription pills because it helped me to relax and just chill and be able to handle everything that I had to take care of and deal with. Coupled with caffeine, it balanced me out. Okay, it's it's another form, and I do not share this with you for you to do it for yourself. But in a way, it is another form of doing cocaine and then using alcohol as well too. It balances everything out. It just mellows everything out. But mine was caffeine and marijuana. It balanced everything out. It gave me a nice, mellow, chill vibe, but I was still alert and still attentive and still able to function. And I did not incorporate any prescription drugs in the mix of it, because you have some people that will take a prescription drug with cocaine and with alcohol. That's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And I did not engage in that. But the crux of this story, marijuana has changed over the years. You do not know what these growers are putting in the marijuana. And I'm not just talking about the fertilizer and the sunlight and the enhancements. I'm talking about any kind of witchcraft, any kind of sorcery or spell work that they're including in that marijuana, that they're speaking over that marijuana, that they're placing in the marijuana. If you don't know, now you know. That can be an attachment. They can make you attached, addicted to the marijuana. It can also give you psychosis. It can mind control. They can do mind control over it. And I'm saying this because there was a particular dealer that Mike was getting the marijuana from over the last several years of his life. That was a tenant of his, and this tenant was very wicked. They were covertly wicked in their behavior and their dealings. This is someone that, in a way, saw me as a challenge and saw me as someone to be played with and or manipulated, to be used, taken advantage of, and she used her marijuana that she was selling to do so. She was engaging in psychological behaviors. She went to school, university for psychology to get her degree, and she used that degree in order to gain for herself, use people, learn how to manipulate people. She was toxic because the thing you have to also be concerned about is not only the drugs and what they're putting in the drugs that you're taking, but then also the person that is selling you the drugs, what is their mental makeup, and then also on top of that, whatever education, whatever their field or their career is in. Like, some people use their career field, they go into a specific field for a reason. And it's not necessarily to help people, it's to hurt people using other people that are hurt and are dealing with some kind of trauma. And you can meet a lot of people and deal with a lot of people that have psychological problems, and you can manipulate them to then go against and attack other people for your behalf. This is what this individual was doing. I saw her in a way do it with a neighbor that was also a tenant of Mike's next door to her. They became, in a way, fast friends. This girl was married. There was a white girl that was married to a black guy. They worked at a grocery chain store together, and they had a child together. The child's name is Delilah, and that I'm gonna leave it at that, but that made me question some things. And then I noticed how when I would go over there to either do work on the property with Mike or go over there to pick up some product, I would see their interaction with each other. And I could see how this girl that I was buying product from was manipulating this other individual, and how slowly, over a period of time, that couple started to separate. They started to distance from each other. There started to be a lot of fights, a lot of arguments. There was a lot of disturbances in their home, and I could see how this individual was basically putting a wedge, doing certain mind manipulative things with this neighbor that was causing a rift in their relationship. They had just had a baby. They were living in a unit that, was basically, it was not terrible, but it also was not great. Okay? So they're working at jobs or careers that, are paying the bills, but they're not really progressing them forward. And this girl was just being manipulative, and she was using what she learned in psychology to basically go into that unit, break them up by working on the mind of that girl that was, just had a baby, married to this guy, and they eventually ended up getting a divorce. I share all that with you because this is how wicked people, cruel people, can cause so much harm in other people's lives. And this guy did smoke marijuana. He was purchasing product from the dealer, this girl dealer, who was doing things to the marijuana as well too, which was affecting that guy's behavior, his thoughts, how he would talk, possibly how he would treat his wife, and so on and so forth. And it was that drug. Whatever she did to it, whatever she spoke over it, whatever she added to it. And if you have never experienced that, I'm here to tell you that I experienced that myself, because there were times where I felt certain ways. There were certain things that she tried to do with me to manipulate me into doing certain things that did not work. I saw right through it, and I eventually stopped buying product from her altogether. I stopped smoking marijuana, especially something that did not come from a distributor, a reputable distributor. So I basically started enjoying CBD, and that helped. But even with that, you have to be careful, because they're also adding things into that product that can hurt and affect you as well too, as well as cause psychosis and mental issues. So it is definitely real. I learned from my experience. I saw the changes in the products over the years that I received, and I also saw the wickedness that can happen when you receive product from the wrong person. It's just like you've seen in those TV shows. Oh, I got something for you, man. I got something it's really good. You're gonna love it. You're gonna like it. And they try it, and then they end up going back and getting more, and then they become addicted, and then they start doing things that they normally wouldn't do to fulfill that addiction, and they engage in behaviors that they normally wouldn't engage in. I just got a picture of the Basketball Diaries. I saw a snippet of that a couple of weeks ago. And that's real. That happens. And it's hard to come back from it. Imagine someone that is dealing in psychology, and they're wicked in their behaviors and in their dealings, and they want to manipulate people to do it or bend to their will. Basically, what this individual, and I'm going to end it with this, what this individual was ultimately trying to do, what they wanted to do, was have this congregation, I'm going to call it, this organization, this group, large group of individuals that were buying product from her, that were engaged in or a part of whatever witchcraft she was doing, that she can then mobilize to go out and do things in the world and bring back to her for her gain, for her success, for her betterment. And if it hurts them, that's not her problem. She just wants to use them for whatever they're good at. And she has a product that she is selling to them that they desire, that they want, that they need, that they're addicted to. And that's how she can keep them coming back to her. So whatever she has to do to the product, witchcraft or spell work or adding whatever to it, she'll do it in order for it to benefit her. It's going to hurt the other person that's, enjoying the product or taking the product, but it's going to benefit her. That's what she was doing. And when I stopped buying from her, she realized that I knew exactly what she was doing, and she started attacking me. So you really need to be cautious and careful about the drugs that you take. It's not only alcohol. You have to be careful about that and cautious about that, because alcohol is a spirit, which can also have you to engage in reckless behavior and become addicted. And the devil can work through you. He can work through you. And if you're not strong in the Lord, if you can't handle alcohol, I'm not saying that you shouldn't drink. I have a drink every now and again. And I just had a few drinks over the course of this week. Prior to this week, I had not had a drink in about 4 to 5 years. So there's no addiction there, thankfully. But I enjoy having a drink every now and again. And it's not just to come out of my shell. It's to enjoy the beverage. It's nice. It's a pleasure. It's a treat. And I actually saw marijuana as being a pleasure and being a treat as well too. But when things are added into that marijuana that can negatively hurt you, cause psychosis, and damage your life and your reputation and your future, I don't want anything to do with it. And you could say the same thing. Look at what alcohol does to some individuals. It can do those same things, but with other individuals, they can handle it and they can be fine. It's being able to discern what is for you, what is not for you, and also realizing that when you're engaging in certain activities, it can hurt you if you're not careful. It can negatively affect you if you're not careful. I made my choices and decisions based off of what I wanted to do. I did not let peer pressure push me into doing something that I did not want to do. However, in my adolescence and youth, I did do some things that I would consider was peer pressure, and I did not like the results of it. So I learned early on, which allowed me to be able to decipher what it was that I wanted and what it was that I did not want. So hopefully you got something from this message. Gotta go. Bye.